of you. All right, guys, we go to part B of our question. So it says, suppose the sample size is decreased, right? So we have a decrease in sample size. What will happen to the answer in A? Motivate your answer. So as you can see from our formula for confidence interval, our sample size is this part, which is the n. Yeah. So anytime you decrease a denominator, it means the final answer you get is going to be bigger. And obviously, if this is bigger, it means it is going to make our range wider, right? Anytime you increase or anytime you decrease your sample size or your denominator, in this case you can see there's a fraction here. The top part is the proportion for the sample proportion, and the bottom part is our sample size. So we are decreasing. All right, so it's much easier if we just illustrate on a calculator, right? So let's put in the information that we had at first. So our information at first was saying 0.66 times 1 minus 0.66, right? And then our n at that time, it was 200, right? Also, we can just also put our 1.96 outside so that we get our final answer already. All right. So anyway, the idea is, as you can see now, we have 0.068, 0.065. Now let's change our sample size like they say. Let's decrease it maybe to 50. All right. So if we have 50 here, as you can see, our interval increased from 0.06, it's now 0.13, which means it's now bigger, right? So, if you don't understand, we can just summarize what happens to the sample size. How does it affect your interval? That's basically what the question is asking us to do. How does sample size affect your interval? So your answer is always, is it going to make it wider or is it going to make it narrower? So like in this case, when we decrease your sample size, it's going to make it wider. All right, so part B. We know that a smaller sample size, but this only applies when you're dealing with proportion, right? When dealing with confidence interval for proportion, right? A smaller sample size makes the margin of error wider, therefore your confidence interval is also wider. Right. So you can also have a larger, meaning if you increase in sample size, again when dealing with confidence interval for proportion, right? As this word proportion is tough, proportion, okay? It makes the margin of error, narrow or narrower if it's starting from somewhere. Therefore, your confidence interval becomes narrower as well. So that's just the relationship. A bigger sample size, narrow confidence level. So we're talking about this. This is the confidence interval. We're saying with a smaller sample size, it becomes wider, meaning it might go up to 98 here, 98%, and down here it might go up to 40%. I'm not saying those are the values, but that's the illustration of wideness, because now there is a bigger distance from 40 to 98 as compared to 59 to 72. When your sample size is larger, it makes it narrow, meaning this one will become maybe 65 up to maybe 69. Makes it very narrow when your sample size is larger. So that's just the relationship between sample size and confidence level. That's the answer you needed to explain. Thank you for watching. We meet on question number 3. So remember, the full course for this subject, for statistics, I'm not going too deep as to where all these formulas are coming from and where all these explanations are coming from, because this is just the assignment. So for you to have access to all the detailed explanation, you have to subscribe to the full course, which is available. Just hit me up on WhatsApp and I'll provide you the link. Thank you guys. See you on question number 3.